You want this mock draft trade up from Chad Ryder of NFL.com?
Yes. How far away were we? 17 days?
17 days to the draft.
And that really snuck up quick. 17 days. Okay. What do we got?
We're getting, by the way, mixed in with this, players are accepting invites to Green Bay.
I saw Jalen Milroe was going,
yes,
right?
Which is a bit of a surprise. Jalen Milroe thinks he's a first-round quarterback. Matthew Golden accepting an invite. You're seeing players accepting their invites to be on the stage there in Green Bay. All right, so trade up at NFL.com. The Bills, with Chad Ryder's NFL trade or NFL mock draft, he did 5 trades. 5 teams traded up. The Bills trade up with, ready for controversy? Baltimore. Hey, Ravens, what are you doing? I'm going to keep it real. If I was in Baltimore, I would say, don't do that.
Don't answer the phone.
Don't trade with the Bills. Don't help them get what they want. Who do the Bills take at 27 in this trade up with Baltimore? Texas wide receiver Matthew Golden, 27th overall.
Ooh.
Chad Ryder writes,
trade up for the receiver we've been waiting for 5 years.
And the price to move up those 3 spots in this mock draft is you trade down from the 4th to the 6th. So you don't give up picks. It's a double pick slide, which is exactly what the Worthy trade was sliding one way and sliding from the 4th into the 3rd. But Matthew Golden taken 27th overall. Does it matter who goes right before? Here's where you might not want a receiver. What if I told you that the 2 picks before, first off, the Chiefs traded up to 24 to take an offensive lineman. So outside of the Chiefs, here are the picks. Chargers go Boston College edge rusher.
Okay.
Donovan Iziriaku. Sorry, I'm working on that one still.
Yep.
Tampa goes safety Nick Emanwari at 23.
Okay.
At 25, Houston takes Oregon defensive tackle Derek Harmon.
Okay.
At 26, the Eagles take Walter Nolan, defensive tackle, Mississippi. These are like the 5 guys
that come up the most.
They're 5 of the guys that you would say, all right, who do the Bills pass on in this mock? Again, these names. Mike Green, edge rusher of Marshall. People like him an awful lot. Malachi Starks is who the Ravens trade down and ultimately take. And Isaiah Bond also goes in the first round of this mock draft to the Rams.
Interesting. Because I've seen him go as late as the Bills' second-round pick.
Yeah.
We had a Texas guest on, I think you had one 2 weeks ago, CJ Vogel, and he was like, I think he's going middle end of the second round. Like, I love him to the Bills in the second round.
Yeah.
And that's been my favorite idea. So when you first mentioned Golden, trading up for Golden, my first thought is, I'm not going to be mad at that at all because I've been waiting for them to go for a speed receiver like that. He ran the fastest 40, or one of them, and that'd be great. I've loved the idea, though, of just give me Bond in round 2. Give me the other Texas receiver in round 2 that ran a slower 40, but some of the tape stuff is really good on him, too. And Vogel also told us that he was surprised that Bond didn't run the faster 40. But if he's going to go long before my second-round pick, then, all right, Golden, you had Joe Marino on him last week, right?
Yep.
Like, it's not just the 40 time. Like, he is a route runner, and he can play on the outside, and he can play on the inside. Like, he should just be a good all-around receiver.
Yeah, Joe's take on him was basically, because I think I saw Matthew Berry Fantasy Life called him a big mystery in the draft because his time was super fast. He doesn't show that on film. People kind of don't know what to get out of him. And Joe Marino's thought was, like, if they don't see it on film, good. Because I do. Yeah, see it from this guy. We'll see. But defensive tackle, corner, still plenty of that think it'll be defense. And safety is, of course, always in the mix.
How surprising really would it be if they did that?
It would only...
Should we be stunned? I mean, it is a year of everybody eats, and their offense is mostly coming back, but not entirely coming back. They have a couple receivers that are gone and only one coming in. Investing another premium asset in a pass catcher like that might be surprising to some.
Yeah.
I mean, I would even be, I would say I'd be surprised. I wouldn't be, I don't know if I should be shocked by it, but I wouldn't bet it that they would go receiver like that and prioritize receiver, especially where they would be thinking, all right, we not only like this position enough, we like it enough and we like the guy enough that we got to go get it. Not just it falls to us.
Part of what I wonder about the receiver idea is who's got input on it. Who is it? Josh Allen and Joe Brady? Is it Bean? Is it McDermott? Is it the wide receivers coach? At the end of the day, the GM makes the call in the early parts of the draft.
Sure.
You lean on the scouts much later, but here, this is the team we want to build. And I'm not saying this in any sort of snarky way. I see a draft profile of receiver X, and it says his numbers aren't that big because they spread the ball around a lot. I think, would the Bills target guys like that? That, hey, we think he's good. He was part of an offense where everybody eats and nobody stands out, and he's not going to put up a stink. Like, I wonder if the Bills would seek out a receiver, second round, fourth round. Oh, no, he could have done more. He did what he was asked, and when he's asked to do something, he does it. Because there are a couple guys like that where the numbers are not that impressive. Golden's actually one of them. Like, he did not put up monster numbers really at all.
No, 1,900 yards in 3 years.
It's not a lot, really, at all. So there's that. Then there's Joe Brady's offense, this yak offense. After Daboll, they decided we got to change. If Brady leaves, will they change? Do they change? Do they decide now we want to be this? Now, because there would have been a decision to go away from the Brian Daboll style of offense to Ken Dorsey first, and then Brady ultimately gets it to where it's going to go.
Yeah.
Who decides to make that change? Snap your finger, we're doing something different.
Well, that's the ebbs and flows of the league, too, isn't it?
Yes.
It's not just what coach is calling the plays for you and what is he like and what is he kind of known for doing. Because, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Joe Brady was like master of the yak plays before he got to Buffalo. He was at LSU and then in Carolina, where his number one receiver in yardage and targets was Robbie Anderson, who's just running down the field. Yeah. Like, there was downfield elements all over the place with his history. But then he got here, and did he do what he always wanted to do, or did he kind of react to the way the league was going into what teams were doing to the Bills? Which is, okay, we got to do more of this around the line of scrimmage. We're going to design it this way to the running backs. And if he leaves, I'm not sure it even really matters. It could matter in terms of how successful they are, but what will their blueprint be? Because I'm interested. How will they get defended this year? What's a defensive coordinator going to do watching a full year of the Bills just throwing the ball around the line of scrimmage and it working? Shakir on screens and Cook and Ty Johnson. What are they going to do to that? Are they going to start daring teams and daring the Bills even more to, here, throw it down the field? You don't want to do that.
Yeah.
You didn't seem to last year. Here.
It's the shot that
dare you to do it.
You kind of can't hit that shot. And there's two parts of that, Joe. There's teams that'll be bad on defense that can't stop the Bills.
Right.
And then there might be teams that have press corners on the outside that really can.
It's a good question, too. Like, the too high safety shell is the popular flow of the league defensively.
Except for the Bills. The Bills saw a lot of cover one.
That's right. And that's maybe where, if they drafted Golden, I bet we'd hear about that immediately. It would kind of be like, okay, that was just kind of sitting there under the surface. That makes sense. Teams did not do too high safety to the Bills last year. They went one high, and maybe they already were reacting to, you want to be a yak team. We don't think you want to throw it over the top, and we don't think you'll be that good at it if you do it, which was true. They were 26th in efficiency on downfield passes. So if the Bills did what this mock draft is, which is they trade up 3 spots and they draft Matthew Golden, who ran a super fast 40 time and had a big year this last year at Texas after not having much before that. What would the immediate explanation be? It's, they expect teams to dare them to throw it deep, and now they want to be able to do it. They didn't have it last year.
Right.
They had guys that could win jump balls, but they didn't have somebody that got open down the field. That would be a very quick explanation if they were to do that, and I think a lot of people would get behind it.
How about that element of Baltimore? Should Baltimore help the Bills?
No, they shouldn't. If I'm Baltimore, no, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even, if I were the Ravens GM, and I'm in front of both of these teams, I'm not taking the call from the Bills or the Chiefs.
Absolutely not. Same.
And if I am taking the call,
just take a call from somebody else.
Actually, maybe I would take the call and just like play along with them, just to wait, because how long is the draft clock? You got a finite amount of time. They're trying to get up and move up for something.
Actually, that's a good idea. Get them on the hook till the last
second. Get them on the
second.
phone. Keep the conversation rolling. Every second they spend on the phone with you is a second they can't spend on the phone with somebody else.
That's right. CJ in Buffalo. Hey, CJ. Oh, is CJ there? No, CJ. We'll put you on hold and try to go back to you in a minute. Did I put him in the wrong? Did I do something wrong here? Maybe I did. Who knows?
I mean, it lit up green on my screen, which usually is the good color for this.
Let's see if we can get it back.
Yeah.
How about now? CJ.
Hey, guys. Good morning. How you doing?
Good. What's up?
Hey, so maybe I'm just thinking outside the box, but I see it. I think we need to go offense early, seeing as though in the past we've went defense so often that I personally think if nothing changes, nothing changes. And with Sean McDermott being such a great mind on defensive scheme, at least in the regular season, with players getting hurt and you making the next guy step up and actually play decent, it doesn't change anything because in the playoffs, every team scores at least 28 points on us. Why not go offense? Your best player on the team is a distributor. Give him weapons to distribute the ball to. That way it's harder to defend it. I don't think, like Joe spoke, I think last week or week before about Josh Allen being more or like regressing on him throwing or having turnovers. I think it's more of the offensive coordinator controlling that. Dayball had a lot of deep routes that, high risk, high reward, and this is more of a controlled offense. He's scheming people open. Let's use that. I would love Isaiah Bond on the other slot position opposite of Shakir. That gives you one more thing to worry about because now you have speed at slot other than somebody that's just going to break every single tackle and is yak. And I think it helps a lot and it opens up for even Kincaid. Yeah. I would go offense. That's just me.
Thanks, CJ. Their last two first picks of the draft, not like first round because Keon Coleman's the first pick of the second round. Their last two first picks of the draft have been offense, which broke a 4-year streak of the first pick being a defensive player.
Right.
Not that that is anything that's scientific, but just they drafted Allen, and 6 drafts since Allen, the offense has taken the backseat to defense in 4 out of 6.
How much do we they're human beings. Bean's a human being. How much does that actually factor in? What they've done the last 2 years? Because the way that football people talk about trusting in the board and trusting in the process, the way football people talk, them drafting 2 offensive players with their first pick in each last 2 years should mean nothing to their board and what their draft prep is for this draft. But I'm not saying it does mean nothing. They know.
Yep.
They know what they've done. Bean knows in that moment when he's got to make the selection. He knows what he's done in the last 2 years. And you might have to fight the urge to say, even if Golden was your top player on the board, or it was like a tie in grade between him and a defensive end, maybe it's a tiebreaker in a situation like that. I wonder how true that, because in fantasy, I know that's true of me, is if I've got something over here and I've already done a bunch of things at that position, like I could easily go, Ty goes to the position I haven't done yet.
Right. And
is Bean someone that would do the same thing in that moment, or do you fully just I block it all out? This is one draft, and I'm blocking out what I've done before.
Right. Do your decisions. Does your own? I'm going to use the word ego here, not to describe him as some sort of problem, but I take it one step further. Why do GMs say we love to draft and develop and sign our own guys? Answer: because when you sign your own guys, you look good.
Yeah.
Some reason it's better if you have your own guys. So, again, it sounds a little cynical, but to sign Bernard, Shakir, Rousseau, Benford all in the same offseason, the Bills have a great offseason because what? They're signing their own draft picks. That makes them look, first off, they are deep. They've got good players. They sign their good players. They're proactive on that. And if you're Bean, every time you sign a draft pick to an extension, your draft pick was a success. Bang. That's 4 you nailed. You did great on these 4. And Cook wants a contract. So we're up to 5 almost in one offseason.